Hey everyone, it's Rita from Miss Rita to the Rescue, and I am here for Cricut Chat this morning. It's Wednesday, 9 o'clock, and this morning we're going to be working on the pumpkin mandala, which we also did on Cricut date night, but I put this in a too small frame, and you can see on the side there that it's kind of buckling, and so I really feel like I didn't do this design justice. I wanted to do it again, but in a larger frame, and then I started thinking that it would be great to add some vinyl to the outside. So I want to do this morning. Good morning, everyone. I want to say hello to David and Christine, Shelley, and Diane. Good morning. So we're doing this mandala. These are very, very popular. Hi, Christy. These are very, very popular. They're cut from paper. So good morning, Bren. If you are a paper person, then this is for you, or maybe you want to try something new. But this is all cardstock, and I'm not going to show you how to cut it out, but I am going to show you where to find the design, because there's more than just the pumpkin. There's a number of different designs available on Cricut Design Space. So if you are a Cricut Design Space Access member, you would get these for free. I also started fiddling with some Smart Vinyl, and I thought I would do this autumn blessings on the outside of the frame. So I did cut this out already, but I haven't cut out the autumn blessings yet. And I wanted to show you how to do that with your Joy, and using Smart Vinyl. This is Smart Vinyl. And this one here, it's Smart Vinyl Permanent. Let's see, does it have a name? I don't know if it has a name. But it is 3 different colors. You see there's a gold, pink, and blue. And I thought the gold would look really nice with this particular thing, and saying autumn blessings here. I sort of, I got a little bit confused or whatever, and because when I looked for this image, Autumn Blessings, I want to show you how it came in, okay? So here I am using my iPad, but you don't need to use your iPad. You can use your laptop, desktop, mobile phone, whatever. But I'm just showing you so it's easier to show you this way. So I pulled in this pumpkin. I sized it. Let's see, what did I size this one at? This one's about 9 inches wide. So it's a little bit wider than it is tall. And this frame is a 12 by 12 frame. It's called a 4-way adjustable shadow box. I bought this at Michael's. I unfortunately don't remember the price. Even though I was at Michael's yesterday, I didn't check the price, but I did buy it on sale, and it's adjustable, and it has like different levels, as you can see, 1 through 4. We're actually going to just use the bottom level. And one of the things I want to point out is that it does not have glass in each of the levels. It just has these little risers that create a gap, okay? But then we're going to put this inside. We're going to use some pop dots, and then we're going to put the vinyl up here on the outside, okay? So let's see how we find this image. So we're going to go to image, and we can just type, I'm not sure if it comes up if you just do mandala. It may or may not come up. Let's give it a second. Okay, so when you type in mandala, yeah, there it is. So when you type in the word mandala, M-A-N-D-A-L-A, it comes up with a lot of these. A lot of them are black and white. Some of them are actually drawn images, but there's a number of new ones here. Look at these letters. I can't imagine reading this, but there are a number of these images. There's a leaf, a turkey. There's a Christmas ornament. There's a spider web. I don't know why you'd want that, but whatever. Some people like that. And here's our pumpkin. Okay, so all you do is touch on it and pull it into the design space, and you can size it based on your frame. What I would suggest is that even though the frame is 12 by 12, try to keep it smaller, like a couple inches all around, okay? Thank you, Dawn. So it kind of looks better. It's not crowding like this one was crowding inside of here, okay? So what about the autumn blessings? Well, I did type in autumn. I think I typed in autumn blessings, and here's what came up. There. So you see here, this has come up in two different pieces. I'm sorry, like stacked on each other. This one also has flourishes, but I didn't want the flourishes because I thought it would be taking away from the image. But when you pull this in, whoop, how did I get that? All right, let me just get rid of that. Okay, here it is. And I'm just going to hide my pumpkin for right now. So I have this, and it's over on top of each other. We can get it closer so you can see. So I did not want that. I wanted them to be side by side, like over here. So how did I do this? How did I break them apart? Well, yes, you could cut them and then just kind of cut around them and put them side by side, but we have a Joy, and the Joy can do long pieces of vinyl. So let's get this look rather than this stacked look. Here's how we do that. We have to go in to actions, and here we're going to duplicate this. So we have now two. And on the first one, we are going to choose hide contour. Okay. And what we can do is we're going to get rid of the first word, the autumn, just by pressing on. It can be you have to pinch it and stuff. There we go. Okay. So once I do that, you see I have just the blessings part. Okay, that's great. So now I'm going to do this one. Excuse me, hide contours. And I'm going to get rid of the blessings. Again, I'm going to pinch it to get all those middle, what do you call them? The inside, the loops. All right. Oops. Kind of hard. I'm holding this a weird way to show you. Sorry. Let me get it a little closer. All right. I think I've got all of the, oh, no, I got one more inside there. How come it won't go? Go away. Okay. That's what we want. So now I have these two, they're free. Now there are other ways to accomplish this, okay? But this for me is the easiest, and I think people like to learn about things like contour. So now I want for it to be side by side, so I can line it up the way that I want it, like this, autumn blessings. I want to give it a little space in between, kind of like what I've done here. And once I have the placement the way that I want it, let me just double check on that. Okay, autumn blessings. So this one should be here. Like that, I am going to select both of them, and then I am going to do weld. Or you can also do attach here, but weld, attach, it's kind of the same thing. All right. So now when we cut it, it's going to come up as a strip, and we're going to use this gold. Let me show you how that works, okay? Let me get rid of this one because this one is sized the way that I want it to be. It's about 10 inches in width, and this is 12. So I want a little space on either side there. So I'm going to hit make it. And in this case, I'm using a smart material. So I do not need a mat. So I'm going to choose without mat, and you'll see that it's turned it sideways. Now, if if I wanted to, because this is a little wasteful here, if I wanted to, and I wasn't really careful, I could maybe cut this twice, and then I can do that here. So by going to that little mat, right, I could cut this twice. Let me show you. And that way, if I wanted to be careful, I could say, all right, I can have this separate. So in case I messed it up and I only have one piece of vinyl. So let's do that, okay? And then we hit continue. Now I already have established my connection on Bluetooth. That's under the settings. And so now I'm on the picking my material part. So I'm going to go into all materials here. And I'm going to see these are the smart materials. So I'm going to choose Smart Vinyl, and I would call this a matte metallic, I think. So I'm going to choose that. And now I'm going to get my Joy a little closer, maybe go up a little bit, okay? Just so you know. Okay, so now it's blinking. All I need to do is take the vinyl and lead it through under these, see these little guides? This is where it goes. And it's checking to see that I put it in correctly, and also that I have enough material for the job. And then it goes, I hit go, and it starts to cut the vinyl. And it goes pretty quickly. And again, this is Smart Vinyl, permanent. There's 3 colors, champagne, party pink, and blue, cornflower blue. So we're gonna let that go. And while we're doing that, I'm gonna move it over here. So while we're doing that, let's have a look at this frame. So this frame, as I mentioned, I got this at Michael's. It's called a 4-way adjustable shadow box. I think when I bought it, I thought there was going to be like actual like pieces of glass in between the levels. And so I think I kind of misunderstood how this was going to go, because I thought we would put like in the back, we would put on this way back, we would put maybe a piece of colored cardstock, and then if this had glass, then I would put the pumpkin there, and then I would put the vinyl there. But that's not the case in this one when I opened it up. And this is how you open it up. It has these little things, kind of like with the frame. So you just move those, and you got to take out all of this extra stuff that they put in there, advertising. Got to take that all out. And then it comes to, here's your actual frame with the glass. And then you have these 3 sort of, is it 2 or 3? 3. These 3 plastic things that give the rising part. And then here's the back. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on this for our pumpkin, and if I wanted to, I could use whatever I wanted to use, a color, but the pumpkin's pretty colorful, so I would suggest maybe something pretty basic. And I actually just took this front piece and flipped it over for today, okay? And let me just, I have to get this stuff out of here. Let me get this stuff off. Oh, hey, while I'm doing this, I want to tell you that I went to Michael's yesterday. They were having a great sale on canvases. So I picked up a couple of different sizes of canvases, and we're going to be doing reverse canvas projects. I think we'll do it on Saturday night since it does take a little while. Or maybe we'll do a small one on Friday and then another one on Saturday night. And it will be using iron-on. It's so simple. So if you want to follow along, get yourself to Michael's and pick up it's just a basic canvas. Sometimes it's at the front of the store. I got mine in like a pack of, I think it's a pack of 7 for $10. So it's really cheap. They also sell them at Walmart and all of those good places. So here are my pieces. That's my my front of the frame. I don't need that for right now. I'm going to put it aside, and I'm going to be working here with this. And guess what? Our Smart Vinyl is done. So we have to weed this. And it's so simple. I'm using my True Control weeding knife. Yay! So Smart Vinyl weeds just like regular vinyl. Just like this. Oh, I'm not in camera, so sorry. Okay, so I picked it at the edge there, and I just start pulling away. Be careful, kind of do it on an angle because you don't want to pull up any of your letters. So here we've got, see, we got 2 of these. All right. I take off the major part of it. I suppose I could save that little bit there too. It won't go in the machine, that small piece, but I could probably just save it for my scraps, which I will do because we want to be frugal. So I can save it for something else. Or I can use it if you have a big machine. You can use it in the big machine, okay? So here I took off the majority of the vinyl, and now I'm just going to go back with my True Control weeding knife, that new thing that we came out with, and I'm taking out all of the, what I call negative space. And now I have 2, and if I don't mess up one doing this project, I can have it for another project. And that is just being frugal and you know, watching the materials. Or you could have just cut it off, I suppose, but I figure I'm probably going to do a couple of autumn blessings projects. Okay, so there's what it looks like weeded. There's what it looks like not weeded. Just go through and make sure you get all those little loopies. And again, this is found in Cricut. Whoop, this is found. Oops, see what I did? All right, that's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna just straighten it out right here. Yay. Okay. So make sure you get all of those little negative spaces, as I call them. I don't know what you call them. The space in between a cursive F. I don't know. Cursive S. What's the name? It's got to have a name. I'm pretty sure it must have a name. Okay. So I am weeding. I have 2. I probably am just going to use 1 today. So what I'm going to do is cut these in half, like this way. Do that. And as far as transfer tape goes, the transfer tape is sold in the Smart Vinyl like size, or the Joy size, but I don't have any of that. I used mine up, so I'm just using this transfer tape that I cut off a larger roll, which you can do, you know. So we only need 1 of these, and there is transfer tape. Sorry, I got a piece of vinyl stuck to my thumb. Okay, and we're going to... A lot of times when I put on transfer tape, it ends up with bubbles. So I've learned to start from one side and sort of roll it with my fingers so that I don't end up with bubbles. Okay? And you do have to make sure that you burnish it a little bit. Of course, I don't have my handy dandy scraper, so I'm going to use the back of my scissors. Okay. If it helps you, you can also trim this up a little bit so it won't be so sticky when you're trying to put it on. That's fine. Okay. So there is that. Now let's talk about the pumpkin. And again, on the inside of this, I just used the piece that was in here and I turned it over because it had some writing there. So I'm going to use that. And then I'm going to take all of my cutouts, and it is 5 layers. Get all 5 layers. And this cardstock actually comes from bunches of different places because I wanted to get 5 actual sort of autumn-y colors. So I started off with this one. This is the back because it has no cuts on it. And then you go to the next one that has a few cuts on it. So then this goes on. You see, and then you go and you work your way up. This one has the next fewest cuts. I have a little piece that isn't cut out. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Right. And then comes this color, this orange. Oops, careful, don't want to rip it. Okay, why? Okay, here. This next one. And this one. Now, I think for this project, as I did with the other project, it would be really nice to give it some depth. And so I'm going to use these. We've talked about these before. These are just foam dots. They don't actually, I don't know if they have a name, maybe a mounting dot. But I actually will use the dots, and then when I'm done with the dots, I use the grid for the back. But I'm not going to use that on all of my layers because I don't think that would look so great. So first I'm going to put my background on there. All right. Okay. If you're wondering about the glue, I usually, after I finish a video, I put the link to the glue. It's called Art Glitter Glue, and it's available at a bunch of places, but just not in the local craft store. So I think what I'll do is I won't put dots in between these 2 layers, simply because it's going to be really hard to find a place here. You see? But I think that I will put dots between these other layers here because it'll be so much easier to give that dimension from that point. So let's turn over. This is the base layer, which I haven't decided if we want to put dots on that one. But we just pop out a dot. I guess that's why they're called pop dots. And they're sticky on both sides. So we're just going to put them all around to give it a little bit of depth between the layers. Okay, I'll try to work fast. I know your time is valuable. Of course, when I try to work fast, I end up causing problems, but so here we're doing all of these dots. And what you could do, just so you know, again, you could take the top part of this and sort of cut it like this, and it creates, I know it's ugly looking, but it creates like a little layer of the dots, so you don't have to keep putting all the little dots on there. That's just one of my little tricks. I think this would be good. Okay, right here. So there are my dots. So I'm going to turn it over. And I'm going to line it up. I'm going to take off these little piece of paper that are on the other side of the dots, or the pieces, the mounting tape, the foam, whatever you want to call it. So then this is my base piece, right? So I'm going to line it up. I have to look over it because I'm kind of at an angle here. But I'm going to line it up right on top of it. Okay? And then just kind of press down. And you see the color comes through there. And the next one, again, also would probably do well with a little bit of dimension. So let's do that. You notice there are more cuts out of here. So if you ever get kind of confused, like, uh-oh, I don't know which layer I'm supposed to put next, you just look for the amount of cuts, and the one with the least amount of cuts goes in the back, and the one with the most amount of cuts goes in the front. I know that sounds pretty obvious, but I think it's probably necessary to say it. And obviously you don't want to put the foam dots in the way where the cut shows, because then you'll see it. So in this case, I think just those 4 dots would be fine. So let's put that onto our other layer. Okay. Line up. Okay. Pretty cool, right? It's coming together. So then we have these 2, and this one has the most cuts, and this one has the lesser amount. And I think these would look better right on top of each other. So I am going to do, my glue. This is my glue. I think I already mentioned it. And please, when you're using glue, it doesn't matter the glue you're going to use, but you have to use it judiciously. You're not going to put a whole lot of glue, because the more glue, the more, because you're working with paper, so the more glue you have, the more likely the paper will wrinkle. Right? Because glue has water in it. And so what I do is I just put a little dot right there, see? Like this. And you're going to do a better job. I know you are. So I'm just doing it just to kind of show you this is how I would do it. And I would not be live. So, so you wouldn't see all how much time I'm taking to do this, but do take your time. You're not in a hurry, and you don't want to mess up your project just because you're trying to hurry it, okay? So let's say I did all of them. I'm just going to put these around the edges. All right. So that's our tippy top piece, and here's our next layer. Turn this over. And we're going to layer it on top here. Right. See, I put a little bit too much glue here. The thing about this glue is that it does dry clear, but I still don't, I rushed it a little bit. So you don't rush it, okay? When you do it, don't rush it. And then we have our sort of completed, and see, it's kind of like a little sandwich, and it has that. I suppose we could put, make some, and yeah, let's do that, because it will give it even more dimension. So I'm going to actually use these extra pieces and make small bits. And this is called using what you got, right? You have to use it up. This is an old New England tradition. Anybody watching me from New England would know, if they grew up in the 70s, or, you know, when your parents grew up in the Depression, you used everything up. Used oil again and stuff like that. And you made do. Okay, so let's put these pieces on here. Okay, let me take off those layers. Okay. Oh, I can't wait to do those reverse canvases, because now that I know how to do them and use the iron-on, oh, it's going to be so fabulous, you guys. I was thinking of doing a Christmas one and maybe a Thanksgiving one. Maybe a Halloween one. Might work. Okay. Here we go. So I'm going to just line this up, make sure I get it lined up. Okay. And there is our completed mandala. It's like a little sandwich. Right, Bren? 15 brothers and sisters. Wow. Okay, so here's our thing. I'm going to put it on the outside of the thing, but I want to just kind of make sure when I put my pumpkin on to the backing that I'm going to leave enough room. So I really don't want any overlap. So I'm going to sort of put my pumpkin here, I think. And I suppose I could also use, you use your discretion, but you could use the dots as well to make it even thicker. But for today, I decided to just put the glue on the back. Okay, so that is done. Let me get my frame because it's all in pieces. What the heck? Oh, here it is. Okay. All right, because these little pieces, this is a little lanky, like gawky or something. Okay, so here's my frame with the glass. Okay, and then these are the things that kind of, I think I need these. If I didn't need them, I would take them out. Okay, so that's the front right here. I'm going to take my design and I'm going to flip it over. And I could just have to move these little handles. Don't use your nails. You'll break your nails. Okay, so just move these little things over. All right, and let's turn it around. Oh, nice. Now we're going to do our saying here. So first, let me make sure that it's going to come off. And I always do this with my designs. After I burnish it, I flip it over and sort of make sure, is it going to all come off? Because sometimes it doesn't, especially with these loopy things. Sometimes it doesn't, and it's going to. And then I'm going to go up higher so that you can see what I'm doing here. There, I think that looks really nice. So now, I could do it two ways. I could take the whole thing off and just place it down. But, I'm careful and I want to start at one end. So here I am on this end. I'm holding it above there because I don't want. And remember, this transfer tape is going to come off, so it's not like you're going to see that grid line. Okay. And make sure you're pushing it on there. Burnish it with something. It's glass, so don't burnish it too much. And then we're going to slowly, and this is why you burnish, because you don't want things to kind of come up. And see here, it's coming up. Nope, I didn't burnish it enough. Make sure I get all those little loopies. Boop. There we go. Okay, and you see how I'm peeling it away at an angle because I don't want it to lift. What? Like that. All right, if you get to this place, just go back. Don't, rip it off and think, oh, I ruined it. Just go back and you can kind of coax that letter back on there. Happens to the best of us. All right. And, again, we've got to, All right, let's go this way, see if that helps. So be patient with yourself or else you're going to end up needing to redo it. Now this one's kind of lifted. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm going to use my True Control, the new knife that I've got. I'm going to lift that up and sort of make sure that it's going down the way that I want it to. See that? So I saved it from being ruined. I don't want to have my hands in the way so you can't see what I'm doing. All right. You can keep this transfer tape, by the way, and reuse it. I always stick it to the side of my desk. Okay, I don't like this little bubbly thing, so I might go back with my burnishing tool, which I don't have. Oops, and I have a piece of transfer tape stuck on here. But that is our, let's go back up. Here we go. And that's it. And you have a beautiful, and I'm sorry about the glare. I don't know how to really necessarily get rid of the glare. But you have a really beautiful piece of art, really, that just took, you know, a special frame or Shadowbox frame, a little bit of vinyl, and some paper. And here's a way that you can, you know, if you start off as a vinyl person and you want to get into paper crafts or vice versa, then, you know, here's a project, pretty simple project that you can do that uses both. And there's nothing, as I've said before, there's nothing saying that you can't use both of these materials or even iron-on. We're going to be doing iron-on using canvas soon. Now, listen, if you're not following me and you're not subscribed to YouTube, please subscribe. All of the videos here get replayed or reposted on YouTube. And so if you ever, sometimes people will come on, they're new, and they say, do you have a video about this? And the likelihood of me having a video about something is pretty high, since we've been doing this daily since pretty much mid-February. So for 6 months, we've been doing like 5 shows a week at least. And so I try to introduce 5 new projects every week. And maybe some things are not for you, but I try to do all kinds of different things so people can follow along and do the things that matter most to them. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in, and I really appreciate it, and I hope that you come back again tomorrow and the next day, and also Saturday night, which is at 7 o'clock. It's called Cricut Date Night, and we're going to be doing this. This is a canvas. This started off as a canvas for art canvas, and I have taken the canvas off, and I'm going to work on the frame, and then we're going to do reverse vinyl, the reversed frame with iron-on. Okay, so definitely come back for that. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you again tomorrow.